Hey folks, Matt Easton here, Scholar Gladiatoria, again for the second time this evening. Because you guys are the best viewers, the best supporters that anyone could hope for, I thought I'd crank out another video for you quickly this evening. And obviously a fair number of you watched my WOOTZ revealing video the other day. WOOTZ! And here is the sword. And it is just, so I have so far only done one side. I haven't done anything to the other side. But that WOOTZ pattern, let's see if we can get it to come up on this. There we go. It is, I don't know how well that shows. Oh, you can probably just about see it there. It is truly wonderful. It is a beast in the hand, this sword, but I just love that pattern. It's beautiful. Couple of things that I thought were worth slapping into a quick video. Firstly, a number of people have commented, what's the difference between pattern welding Damascus and WOOTZ Damascus? Well, I explained that in the previous videos. You know, pattern welding is mixing steels together. WOOTZ it's a chemical micro carbide, something like that. It's a mono steel. Essentially, WOOTZ is a mono steel, and pattern welding isn't. It's a combination of steels. But some people have said that WOOTZ looks like pattern welding. I don't really agree. Kind of like, if you look at lots of pattern welded things and you look at lots of WOOTZ things, it's quite easy to tell the difference. I don't think, so long as you've looked at a fair number of each, I don't think you would mistake one for the other. Yes, you can make certain types of pattern welding look more like WOOTZ, but I don't think it would really fool anyone who's seen lots of WOOTZ. It's just a very different look to it. But the second thing I wanted to mention was that because I got addicted to the acid, man. Okay, yeah, it's not exactly an acid. It's I've forgotten the term now. You'll remind me. But so it is an acid. It isn't an acid. It's a salt, but it becomes an acid when you mix it with water. Blah blah blah. It's essentially the etchant anyway, ferric chloride. And because I was like, that was so exciting, so much fun doing that. I thought, right, I have some other things in my collection that might be WOOTZ. And so I went for the first other tulwar that I thought could be WOOTZ. I etched it, obviously in great hope, and nothing. And what I discovered is that if something is I'll call it a simple steel. If something's a simple steel, so not WOOTZ, in other words, it may be a crucible steel, but it's lacking the vanadium or whatever that is required to get the pattern out. If it's not WOOTZ, then all that happens when you put the ferric chloride on it is the blade goes a little bit grey. And that's it, and it's pretty damn boring. So that tool, I was like, so that's not WOOTZ. There we go. So I polished it up again. It's still the same as it was before, but it's not WOOTZ. Still a very nice tulwar. So I went for Lucy's tulwar, which is right here actually, and I was fairly sure, I feel certain that this is a European-made blade actually, because of the shape of the fillers and everything else. And funnily enough, you can actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there is a portion of the blade around here where I tried etching. And again, it just made the blade go a little bit grey. Not very exciting, I'm afraid, so that is not WOOTZ. But there was another candidate. I thought, could this be WOOTZ? So I polished it up with autosol, and I made the ferric chloride diluted again, and I slapped some. So I've held this guitar in previous videos, and I have possibly told you that I think that this might be WOOTZ. And it is. It transpires the centre of this blade. Again, I will probably do a better video where I actually show some close-ups, because I won't be able, with this setup that I got in here with the lack of light. A couple of my light bulbs need replacing at the moment, so it's a bit dull in here at the moment. You won't be able to see it, but I can assure you that the central section of this blade and the point, most of the point, is WOOTZ. And it's got the swirly pattern, very like that, but actually finer, smaller squiggles essentially. But what's interesting is the edges up here on each side do not have the WOOTZ pattern. Now, if I hadn't learnt certain bits of information that I did about a year ago, I would have just assumed that the etching didn't work on the edges, and that the whole blade was WOOTZ. But when I was at the Wallace Collection making a video with Dr. Alan Williams, who is the resident a metallurgist at the Wallace Collection, he's in the process of examining lots of WOOTZ swords that are in the Wallace Collection, and he told me, and I think it wasn't on camera, I think it was off camera, but I distinctly remember him telling me that one of the things they'd found surprising about some katars was that they found WOOTZ in the middle, and then with forge welded steel, simple steel as it were, edges around the outside. And this puzzled them, because they thought, well, if the WOOTZ is superior, why not have the WOOTZ on the edge and have the simpler steel in the middle? And he said, you know, it could be for decorative reasons, maybe because much like Anglo-Saxons and Viking era swords, where sometimes they had the pattern welding up the middle and then the mono steel around the edge, maybe they were just putting it there for decorative purposes and it wasn't really for functional. Maybe it's something specific to a katar. Maybe it's because with a katar it's not really a cleaving weapon, it's not like a sword, it's actually a sort of, you know, it's a punching, it's a piercing weapon, so maybe different priorities. Who knows? The jury's out. But anyway, I thought it was fascinating that my etch, and I need to have another go at it, I need to do it a little bit better because I did it quite quickly, but it seems so far from the etching on this katar that the central section is WOOTZ and the edges and the tip of the point are not WOOTZ. Interesting. Anyway, there we go. So I have another piece of WOOTZ here, WOOTZ for me. And I'm now on the hunt for anything else I can slap my acid onto. Anyway, I hope that was interesting, and thanks again for all your support, and see you for the next video. Cheers, folks.